Good evening. And this is the last presentation. Anyway, every time certifications and traceability becomes the last presentation. But that's the most important presentation which should have been at the earliest. And that's for Ramu. So, just to give you a briefing about why India has a lot of opportunities, fisheries opportunities, and why it is because you know that India is world's largest fish producing, major seafood exporter, growing aquaculture, rich in marine diversity, significant marine ingredient potential we have, and strong science-based institutes we have. That is one of the major things we have. I'm just going fast. And why sustainability now? We all know it's the buyer requirements, ECG expectations are more, traceability demand, and resource security. So now we can say that sustainability is no longer an option, but increasingly it is becoming a requirement. Since I work for MSC, I have to tell about MSC. MSC is a non-profit organization. It's a global NGO. We have we have a fisheries standard, and we also have a chain of custody standard. I'm not going into the details of all these. MSC implementation pathway, I just need to give you a pathway because I'll be explaining about what are the challenges actually what we are facing, the industry is facing. So MSC implementation pathway, as we know, as I've written here, is the stakeholder engagement. Where we had to bring all the stakeholders with the common vision together. Scientific baseline, we had to make the scientific baseline, and that is through the fishery profiling. Then we have to do the pre-assessment, that is the independent gap assessment. Then we go for the action plan. This action plan is nothing but the fishery improvement programs, that we call it as FIPs. And once the FIP plan is made, we have to go for the FIP implementation. That is the implementation process. And finally, we come for the traceability and COC process. And finally, we make the fishery ready for the certification readiness. So this is the pathway. This is a structured pathway. I'm not going into the details. So we have done a fishery scanning where around 30 fisheries were prioritized. And fishery mapping was done for all these fisheries, and the pre-assessment was completed for 13 fisheries. Action plan was developed, and now it is 12 fisheries are in the FIP, and we are expecting to go for the full certification process. So what are the challenges? There are a lot of challenges in the Indian fisheries scenario. We have a lot of challenges which day to day we are having. Basically, we know that 3,000 plus coastal villages, 9 maritime states, hundreds of species, multiple gear types, and multi-governance we have. So these are the challenges. A lot of challenges we have in our hand. Even then, we have to move forward. So challenges in implementing the FIP. The first thing is the fragmented fisheries governance. We have the central government, we have the state fisheries government. So the different policies. With every state, they have different regulations. It is not what we can say, it is not an issue, but the implementations take time in correcting and aligning things. So the implementation becomes slow. The process becomes slow. Funding is the major issue. Funding is one of the major issue. A lot of fund is required for this because we need to do the stock assessment. If we need to do stock assessment and the data need to get, we need to approach the central government agencies. And central government agencies have their own consultancy fees, which is very high. And this has to be bared by the clients. The clients has to bear it. So what we are doing, we have a solution for that, and the solution also we have implemented. Traceability readiness, that is one of the fact, and I think that is what MPEDA and all people are doing now, how to make the traceability correct in the part. Fishery specific data, we lack data for certain species, which we need to have the data. The most important is the stakeholder coordination. We need to bring all the stakeholders together. It cannot be done by one person or one company. We need to bring all the people together, work as a team to bring it. That is the toughest part. In where we need to have the government, we need to have the industry, we need to have the science, we need to have fishers and the NGOs together. And we are doing that. Scaling up the FIP across India. It is not only in one state. We have all the 9 maritime states, we have FIPs running. Challenges, you can see funding, governance, stakeholder fatigue. The stakeholder get tired by the timeline when it increases, and the management system implementation by the states. Some of the countries have done successfully, and they are moving forward, and they have sustainable fisheries. One of the countries is Indonesia. I have just put some things here to show that industry-led, this almost same we are following now here. So you can see here in Indonesia, associations were the people who brought up certificate requirements. And second, you can see here government support, policy and management alignment, getting it aligned. Policies all getting aligned. Fishery by fishery, that is the framework, national framework requirement. So Indian government is also doing that. Indian government has now made the traceability framework. Now the sustainability framework is also being getting ready. Then funding. I did not put the funding amount here because it's a blended funding from the government and the industry. So I hope that in PMSSY we have funding allocated for fisheries certifications and FIP implementation. And transparency is very important. Transparency, reporting, and keeping the people aligned. All people should be informed what is happening, where we are, who is doing, and where it is getting reported. And blended finance is nothing but even within the industry, who funds, how much funds, and who are they, who are funding all these things. So this is what is happening. And almost 80% it's happening the same way in India also. So we can see here in India we have the concept of One India and making it as a one pathway. And I will tell you what is pathway means. So we have multiple fisheries. We need some common governance. We need some common traceability systems in place and shared sustainability vision. And we have it. So this is what we are doing now for the Seafood Export Association of India. And we have here the trawl fisheries pathway, where we already have FIPs running here. That is Kerala deep sea shrimp, that is on progress. We have the coastal shrimps, we have the squids, cuttlefish, and octopus moving forward. So these are the trawl fisheries pathway which we envisage. And the Seafood Exporters Association is the client for this fishery. Next coming is the Surumi fisheries pathway, where there are FIPs which are on progress now. That is Nemipterus, that is threadfin bream. We have Saurida and ribbonfish. And this pre-assessment has been completed. They have also entered into the FIP. And this is funded by the Surumi Association. We have the small pelagic pathway, that is the new pathway which IMA, India Fish Meal Association, has approached MSC. And now we have Indian oil sardine, Indian oil mackerel, and lesser sardine coming forward. And they are under them, they have the Kerala Fish Meal Association. Already they have finished the pre-assessment and FIP implementation. They are on the process. Crab Meat Processors Association is the next one. So you can see here, all the clients are associations. It's not a single company or anything. We are trying to make them structured. We are trying to bring them aligned to one way. We can see here the mud crab. Basically, mud crab is not of Kerala. It is from Orissa, Chilka Lake. So that already the action plan assessment is over. Action plan implementation is on the process. Blue swimming crab of Park Bay is on process. Clams, that is the Ashtamadi clam, is again getting recertified by, and it is funded by WWF. And you can see tuna and large pathway. This is for the skipjack tuna, which Government of India now has asked for the quotations to go for the full assessment. Also, we have some requests from longliners to have tuna. So we can see here, it's a national coordination and it is fishery by fishery implementation. So it is in a pathway, in a single pathway. We are trying to bring together all the people aligned so that it will be easy for the policy makers to make decisions very fast. So what are the benefits of this type of systems are, you can see reduced duplication, lower cost to the clients. The clients can have lesser cost, better coordination, stronger science-based evidence we can create, and greater impact. So there are some steps which we have, these are some of the successful, how we reach this is by, we have done this for the exporters now, and this we can see here, aligning the ecosystem, that is aligning with the governments. We have several round of stakeholder meeting with the governments, with the institutes, central institutes like CIFT, CMFRI, with industry, several, 1 month itself we may have 5 or 6 meeting with the industry stakeholders. Fishers, that's most important, because whatever we do, it need to be accepted by the fishers. If fishers don't accept, there is no meaning in we doing all these things. Then NGOs, we need to align with the NGOs, and finally the market. Prioritize the fisheries transparently, that is what we have done. We prioritize 30 fisheries, then build scientific baseline data, that is what CMFRI and other institutes are doing, CIFT is doing, and for that only we need a lot of funding for the government institutes to be carried out. Then convert assessment gaps into actions, that is the implementation part, FIP implementation we need to do. We need to do the pre-assessment, we need to have the scoring profile, we need to have the action plan, milestones, and who monitors that. And this step is nothing but, this is, once we do the pre-assessment, we need to, from our side, we need to, the client side has to make sure whether it needs to be a basic FIP or a comprehensive FIP. So basically in Kerala and for MSC, all fishery which has come is comprehensive FIP, means which leads to an improver program and goes for a full assessment. Basic FIP doesn't goes for a full assessment. So traceability strategy is also, we have made a small traceability strategy where we should have, which Thailand is correctly doing that. We have vessel catch event, we need to have that. We need to have the data of the landing data. We have a auction process, so we have to have auction lot identification in the harbors. We need to have the batch control at the processor area. We need to have export documentations, and we can have the buyer verification. So it's a big process which I think MPEDA is working on it. A short proposal to the government, almost the same thing we have formulated. I'm not going into the details. So sustainable financing is financing. It is the most important factor. Now Seafood Exporters Association has spent, you can say, more than 100 crores they have invested from their, all together, all these fisheries they have invested. And MSC also has given, blended funding has been given, but it should be like this. Industry should be 9, you can say government 7, research grants as grants. Even MSC has given research grants to several institutes, even CMFRI, CIFT, and universities also we have given. Development partners provide, and certification clients like us, or we can give. So all these funding should be blended, not on the head of just one organization or on the industry. Government has major roles. So this is one of the issue what we feel is we don't have fishery management roles, fishery management plans for most of the fisheries in India. So we need to have the fishery management roles, management plans from the government. Traceability infrastructure, which now we are working on, PMSSY and fundings and public programs, state fisheries departments for the implementation part. These are all benefits. I'm not going into the details. MSC journey started 2007, now 2060, 2026. We are expecting by 2027 at least we should have 2 or 3 fisheries coming into the certification part. So success, we can say it is a certified fishery. By 2031, we should have certified fishery in India. How many numbers, I cannot tell now. Multiple FIPs, active FIPs we should have. A traceability, national traceability framework we already have. Fisheries entering MSC assessment, that is a new fisheries, and improving the stock management. So basically it is a collaborative pathway work where we all work together for multiple fisheries. It's a shared responsibility and shared success. Thank you.